Welcome to Pilot Highlight, where I take an indie pilot of my interest and analyze what I feel like works with the pilot and what could be improved. And, most importantly, what's the potential that awaits for a potential series. Now, what is a pilot? It is a groundwork production to a potential series. You present your rough concept of a series in a pitch, or in this case, a pilot episode, and see the response. If it does well, it's greenlit. If it's not, then it's a no-go. Mind you, a lot of TV shows use the pilot as the first episode to a series as a standard practice, though in animation, a lot of pilots tend to look different from the official first episode. So, let's highlight this pilot. Today's pilot is Gameoverse. We're introduced to Kit the cat and her robot companion, Kaboodle, who are expeditioners who travel across different planets that are basically like their own kind of video games, in their own world, where their task is to stop the hero from that world completing their quest. Whether it be, for example, beating the main villain, for if the hero wins, the planet blows up. Wow, that's a pretty shitty game ending. Meanwhile, the villain's Syntax, whose goal is to help the hero beat the main villain or complete their quest, to then absorb the planet's energy when it explodes. Which, I'll admit, is an interesting concept. It's something fresh and nice little idea. It opens a ton of possibilities for various game types and the conflicts it would create. It'd be interesting seeing the characters tackle different various worlds and hero quests and different kind of side missions and stuff like that, or even just different kind of character types. So I like the premise already. Gameoverse is of course being funded by Glitch, but is made by Rubber Ross, aka Ross O Donnovan, who's had this idea for a decade, and now it's time to finally show off what's in store. We have Kit, voiced by Erica Lindenbeck, the hero of our story who tries to save worlds from suffering the same fate as her world. She puts on a brave face and helps those she can, as she has her own struggles after what happened to her planet, blaming herself for any mistakes and puts a lot of pressure and responsibility on herself. Then we have Kaboodles, her robot companion, voiced by Jay Schlatt. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I've seen clips of him, but I've not actually watched his stuff, so my bad. The tech and infantry companion, who's more cold compared to Kit, no pun intended, as they're more straightforward and honest, but very sarcastic, who assists in repairs, manning the ship, and also helping Kit with combat against the bad guys. And then we have Gobbles, voiced by Aaron Hansen, aka Egoraptor from Game Grumps, who was in a learning game for kids before his world got destroyed. He himself is a nervous old dinosaur, but has what it takes to be brave and use what he learns to help Kit along our journey. Now with the main villains, we have Misinformation, voiced by Elsie Lovelock, the henchwoman to the big bad, also is a baddie, and notably is such a rage baiter to a partner in crime, and I love her even more for it.
If you're having trouble, shoot where they're going instead of where they are. If you're having trouble, I know!
And then we have Foal, voiced by Ross O Donnovan, the butt of the joke henchman, which by the way, him and Misinformation have a great dynamic. It's very Team Rocket coded, and I am so for it. They are actually a delight. And then we have the big bad in charge, Warwick, voiced by Christopher Sabat! How the hell? I mean, the leader of the Syntax, who's both imposing and comedic. I feel everyone done a great job. Everybody seems to be having a lot of fun with the roles. I like Kaboodles' tinny filter to his voice, plus Jay Schlatt done a pretty good job of voicing Kaboodles. It's actually good seeing folk getting celebrities who can actually voice act. Well, not celebrities, but YouTubers, celebrities, you know. You know what I mean. But yeah, Jay Schlatt did pretty good, so props to him. My only complaint is I feel Aaron's voice for Gobbles doesn't fit the design. The voice gives me a Grunkle Stan and a Joe from Aqua Team Hunger Force vibes, but it doesn't match the character's look. Some would say that's the point, to subvert expectations, like, oh, he's a cute little dinosaur, but he sounds like this. Hey, Kit. I guess? Nothing against Aaron's performance, as he's also voicing Flappers, the dolphin. By the way, it's a very reminiscent to the old days of Egoraptor. No, I want to display in the public so people know that I defeated you! Sorry, it's flashbacks, man. It just doesn't sound right coming to this character to me. I was thinking maybe something closer to, maybe not exactly an impression, but something in the same vibes of Barney the dinosaur mixed with Patrick Star.
Hey Gobbles, you doing okay back here?
Yes, just learning. I'm just a bit nervous, I guess. Ooh! Nothing major, it just might take some time to get used to. So my overall thoughts on the pilot itself? I love the fight scenes from the beginning to the very end. The animation, while maybe a bit choppy at certain bits, but overall was still pretty good for a, you know, an indie budget. Still pretty amazing. Like, especially impact frames. Oh, that is some good texture, my boy. That's some good quality stuff there. They are so good. You can actually feel the passion that went into this project. It's not just some typical generic, oh, we're in a video game land universe. I like the overall look and art style. It looks really good. So I know Glitch is used to doing, as far as I know anyway, 3D animation, but seeing him doing 2D, looks pretty good. Yeah, not bad. I'm all for it. I'm a sucker for quality transformations, and Kit's was great. And I don't mean for that reason, but it was a nice quality transformation. Her armored suit kind of gave me Metabee vibes from Metabots. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I like the look anyway. Also, the one with the evil Kit was pretty nice, especially when they sprout out from their top half in a new form. Very detailed and very nice. Ooh, yeah, I like that. We got to see a lot of different outfits, especially from Kit, especially when they're dealing with different kind of terrain and different kind of planets and their various video game types. I'll be interested in seeing more of how they, blend in, per se. Also, off topic, as for the whole discourse of quote-unquote gooner bait, people just need to go and touch grass. Or rather, go and eat some too, for good measure. There's nothing wrong with showing off various character physiques. If your complaint is for the lack of body types in, say, the female characters, that's a totally valid criticism. If you think the pilot lacked body physiques, then fine, that's an actually decent take. But calling a swimsuit that a character wears at a beach planet gooner bait is just stupid. Do you not see people in bikinis in the real world? Do you go up to women and men and go, ugh, look at that gooner bait? It's like, what do you expect, bro? Like, what? If people can simp for Leon Kennedy with no bat and eye, then people can simp over the new Mega Man cat waifu, okay? No, I am. Sorry, Miss Info, but she stole my attention first. By the way, I am not a fur. If the show wants to show off their characters, as long as it's done right, I don't care. I'll enjoy the sights. Even like the small pixelated world map transition was pretty cute. Like, I wouldn't mind that being a running thing going forward. Like, every time they're going for a new world and say they're gonna move to a new destination, we just get the little, various worlds and seeing all the landscapes and stuff. That's really cute. I like that. And combine that with the very video game inspired music is jam-packing full of fun tracks. I love it. I also noticed that each character has their own unique healing items. Like Kaboodle has batteries, Kit has a juice box for gobbles, and Fold has glue. I like the uniqueness in each character's healing item. So I like to see how all these characters have their own unique healing items. Like maybe one's got like a stack of ribs, or one's got like, I don't know, a needle fucking full of steroids or something. I don't know. There's a whole possibility here, and I kind of want to see more of that. As for the possibilities in the future, I'm intrigued with what the grand plan is for the villains obtaining all this data. It's giving me kind of massive Digimon Frontier vibes, with how Warwick was saying here,
look out there. The rules of the Gameoverse are cruel and unfair. With the float we absorb from planets like yours, we can change those rules. Bring back all that we've lost.
Possibly having more control of the space system, or even recreate the digital world in their image, or something else down the line. While the gang fails to rescue the worlds, they require a new team party member from that world. Which, by the way, I'm surprised they went with that in the pilot, because normally they'd let you see the heroes wins, like, yeah, it's that simple, guys. But no, it's like, oh no, we failed. So I like that different kind of change of pace. But also, it's going to be cool seeing the potential of having, like, this huge army of like all these fallen heroes, and their worlds are destroyed, but they're all aligning themselves together to, fight together against the forces of the syntax. So if the show gets greenlit and then we get to the finale, we're gonna have a whole army of like villains from one side, or like different universes, and then the other side of all the heroes and warriors that want to fight back and, reclaim their world, or at least do something to stop a bigger threat, that's going to hurt other planets. That'd be really cool, like their own kind of video game endgame. Also, I want to know more about this Castlevania-looking Sephiroth guy in Kit's Nightmare. I was really interested in that dude. I want to know what his deal was. Like, what was his overall dynamic with Kit? Like, it's like, hey, I'll save you, but you work for me, or hey, I'll save you, but we got a condition. I'm interested in seeing how that played out. Okay, those were the positives. I'm gonna get down to the negatives. Now, with this pilot, it does work well in terms of showing the possibilities of the Gameoverse if it went to a series. Even though the pilot is 30 minutes long, it goes by really quick in my opinion. Maybe a little too quick, but I get it. You want to show off the possibilities and highlight the aspects of a potential show. Maybe you could have spent some time with Kit in her world for a little bit with her family or her team beforehand, before the planet blows up. And in future, maybe explore these different kind of worlds and cities with the landmarks and just how everything works and all the NPCs, and maybe they could show some funny moments or some interesting aspects. The gang could find some clues or even some items that they could use, if they can, that is. Because I know like they're very limited, like, oh, they can't say certain things to the NPCs, they can't do much to the people, so there's only certain limitations, and if they mess around too much, they can get found out by some, I don't know, video game god, I'll call it, video game god. The only place I can really point out the real issue with the pacing, it's when Kit feels like she's failed and Gobbles talks her out of her state. It just felt like someone was mashing the A button and skipping Kit's dialogue and just going straight to Gobbles' dialogue. It felt like a video game version of Speed Racer, if that makes any sense. Like, I understand they want you hooked, and well, that is what a pilot should do, but it's also important not to feel too bloated, with certain character arcs and dynamic shifts throughout the show into the pilot. But anyway, I am intrigued with Gameoverse, and I'm staying on board to see how it plays out. I see tons of potential, and I can't wait to see what they do and explore different kind of planets, different video game types, and just overall what they're going to do with these various characters. But I'm interested in seeing what villain types we'll get as well. Like, we've seen the main villains, but I want to see like the, you know, the sub henchmen, you know? We had that like Space Marine guy and some other characters there. I'm interested in seeing what their whole aspect is. And most importantly as well, the overall premise of obtaining all this energy and what's it going to be used for. So what are your guys' thoughts? Did you like the pilot? Did you not like it? Or did you have certain aspects that works but didn't? Leave them down below. I'd be very interested to know what you thought about it as well. And what do you hope for the future of Gameoverse? This has been Drew. Those are my views. And I bid you adieu.